All right, folks. The other day, we told you a story about Eric Holder and his new school discipline guidelines, where he says basically stop targeting minorities. He said a routine school disciplinary infraction should land a student in the principal's office, not in a police precinct. He's at it again. The U.S. Justice Department, according to various reports, will soon extend its ban on the use of racial profiling during federal investigations. This, according to law enforcement officials, briefed on the matter. Joining us right now to talk about this is our friend, Congressman Peter King, New York, member of the House Homeland Security Committee, chairman of the Subcommittee on Counterterrorism and Intel. Hello, Congressman.
Steve, how you doing?
Good. Always great to talk to you. Thank you for coming on. Okay, so this story, I mean, nothing surprises me anymore. But when I read this story this morning, I said, wow. I mean, they're just going to keep going and going and going until, I guess, they put us in so much danger that, God forbid, something happens.
Yeah, I don't even know what they mean by this. The fact is, I don't know if any profiling that goes on in the way that would be wrong. For instance, you just can't go out and lock up a black person or an Italian person or an Irish person because of their race or ethnic background now. But if you're told that a person is of a particular race or particular background and there's other circumstances, you have to take race into account, or you have to take gender into account. I mean, that's it's crazy. I mean, are you going to be if the report is that there's probably a black person involved, you're going to be stopping whites. Similarly, if you hear it's a white guy, you're going to be interviewing blacks or questioning blacks. It just seems to be political correctness going crazy. And I think a lot of it also goes back to this whole idea of the police go where the crimes are committed. And usually crimes come from particular ethnic areas, and it can be anywhere across the board. The fact is that it makes no sense to be going outside that particular area when you know that most of the crime is coming from a particular neighborhood or block or whatever. I mean, going back years ago to the South, when a black civil rights leader was killed, I wouldn't waste a lot of time interviewing blacks or questioning blacks. You would go to white areas which have been known for racist activity. So it's to me taking away a valuable police tool.
And Congressman, the New York Times first reported this, and supposedly this happens after a meeting yesterday between Eric Holder and newly elected mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio. So, gosh, I would to be a fly on the wall in that meeting. But they've turned racial profiling into a dirty term, or profiling into a dirty term. And what you described, the scenario
that is intelligent policing, and if you want to call that profiling, it's profiling, but it's not going after a person because of their race or ethnic background. It's because it's believed that the person who carried out those crimes or the people that are coming from a particular group at a certain time, and that's where you look.
Congressman, we have Darrell Issa and Jim Jordan of Ohio calling for an investigation into the investigation into the IRS scandal by the Justice Department. Justice Department, Eric Holder, again, appointed a woman who was a two-time $3,000 contributor, each time $3,000, to Obama's two presidential campaigns, also gave money reportedly to the Democratic Party. She was the one put in charge of investigating the IRS scandal, and lo and behold, she came up with nothing. So now they're looking for the Justice Department's Inspector General to launch a probe into that investigation. You agree?
Yes, I do, definitely. To me, there's so many serious allegations involving the IRS, and how this Justice Department could have concluded that there was no grounds for prosecution is really, to me, that has to be investigated, because this was a clear abuse of power. And the IRS is, any abuse of power by a government agency is wrong, but it's particularly wrong with the IRS because they, in many ways, have as close to power of life and death over you as anyone. And they can destroy people, they can destroy their life savings, they can destroy their families, and to allow the IRS to do anything which constitutes an abuse of power, to me, is wrong. And it seems to be so systematic here and so extensive. To me, it cries out for an Inspector General investigation as to why there was no criminal action brought.
I got 30 seconds left, and I'm going to read my last story here that you could either comment on or not. But in Bill Gates' book, it comes out today that the Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid once asked Gates to spend taxpayer money to research irritable bowel syndrome. And Gates says, with all the major issues we had to deal with, my personal contacts with Harry Reid were about the irritable bowel syndrome. He said, I didn't know if I should laugh or cry.
Well, it says a lot, because Harry Reid's also the one who, when President Bush was launching, and also Secretary Gates, the surge, which turned out to be so...
He said the war is lost.
Yep. He said the war is lost, which to me was the worst thing you could ever do to American troops.
Congressman, thank you, sir. Always appreciated. Chairman of the Subcommittee on Counterterrorism and Intel, Peter King, Steve Malzberg Show. See you tomorrow, folks.